You are welcome to Toontum Network, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Cyrus. Today's topic, I want to discuss 5 businesses I strongly believe you should avoid in 2023 and 2024. It may not necessarily be the case in your home country somewhere in Africa, but if you live in Ghana, I strongly believe there are other lucrative businesses you could put your money into that will bring you more returns and it will be safer for you than these 5 businesses I'm going to discuss with you today. Please stay tuned and let's go. This episode is brought to you by EM Gold Wines in Tesano. They are the importers and distributors of 12 different brands of wine from Spain and Italy. They sell at wholesale prices, and I'm sure when you call them, they'll make you a very good offer. Please kindly help us by subscribing. Please subscribe to help us grow. We need your likes, we need your shares, but above all, leave a comment if you have to, and help us to grow. Thank you so much. Now, the first line of business I would advise anybody to stay away from in 2023, 2024 is what we call in Ghana as provision store or kiosk. It is also called retail store or corner shop or tuck shop in different places. Profit margins for things sold in this kind of shops or stores are usually small. Bear in mind, prices are increasing daily and inflation will continue. You may end up needing more money to rebuy stock when you run out. It holds up capital and it takes your time. You cannot move. You must be at one location all the time if you want to protect your investment, especially at the beginning stage. Then the problem of expiration dates comes with its burdens. On top of that is you will have to rent out a space. Theft issues also follows up. Right after that is the most challenging issue of them all, and that is avoiding putting your hands in the business coffers to feed yourself and your family. And this is a problem, especially when this is the only source of income for you and your family. You may end up using a big portion of your investment capital on yourself by the time you sell out the goods you have in your store. There is no way I'm advising anybody to get into this line of business. What's happening in the West will soon hit Africa. And I think it's already here, where most of the physical shops will go online. Most people today enjoy buying bulk from the malls and the supermarkets because of the price differences. And you don't want to be going against the tide. You won't win. Eventually, what will happen to you is people will only be buying petty things, small things, which have very little profit margin. And that wouldn't sustain your business in the long run. The second line of business, which again, I'm advising you to stay away from, is the buying and selling of used or secondhand cars. I'm referring to when you invest money in buying accident, salvage, or clean cars from abroad, reinstate them, and sell them in your home country. This is a typical business in Ghana. It used to be so lucrative for many years, but recently conditions have eroded its profit margins. In town today, there are thousands of cars unsold in car garages. The first major problem facing this industry is lack of consumer capital to buy. In Ghana, only a small percentage of corporate people have the option of buying anything on hire purchase. The rest of us will have to pay cash and in full. And now people generally don't have money like before. It's a worldwide thing. Secondly, prices of fuel doubled, which has made owning a car very expensive. Car parts, on the other hand, have gone up through the roof. On top of all this, government taxes on imported cars are skyrocketing. Let me give you an example. 1 year ago, port duty charges for clearing a Corolla with 1.8 liter engine was around 25,000 Ghana cedis, which was equivalent to $3,500. Today, it's 40,000 Ghana cedis. The price increase has now been transferred to the consumer. The price of a second-hand Corolla, which I believe is the most durable car of all time, used to be between 40,000 and 70,000 Ghana cedis, depending on the year model. Today, it's between 110,000 to 180,000 Ghana cedis, which is in dollars around 9,000 to 15,000. The constant thing in all of this is consumers' salaries hasn't increased much over the year. This business could have been a very good business if, for instance, you had a standby buyer ready with money to buy the car once it arrived. But if not, prepare to have your money stuck in a car for a year or two or even more, which is something I will not recommend that you do. The third business on the list of businesses you should avoid in 2023 and 2024 is investing money into buying a car for the purpose of Uber services. There is no way I'll advise you to do that. Whether it's Uber or Yango or Taxify, it's the same thing. And the reason is this: any business that cannot pay you without your physical performance on a daily basis is not a business that's going to help you in the long run. And that's exactly what driving a taxi, a private taxi, does to you. You will need a driver who won't run away with your car, first of all. A healthy driver, a hard-working person who can drive 6 days in a week. And on top of that, be honest with weekly payments. You see, the roads aren't that good, and the kind of cars we use for these taxis in Ghana, just in order to cut back on fuel spending, aren't the best for our roads. Then there is the issue of car theft every now and then to also consider. Honestly, when Uber first came to Ghana, it was good business because the drivers were few. But today, the drivers are all over the place. The capital city is actually choked with a lot of Uber drivers. So your driver will have to be consistently online in order to get the algorithm to prompt him for a ride. At the same time, the cost of starting Uber is not cheap. You have to get a comprehensive insurance for your car, the high cost of maintaining the car, and then the fuel prices that are going up. All these things you have to bear in mind. But if you are buying the car with the passion of driving it yourself, then I wish you all the best. But if you are buying it for someone to drive and pay you in installment, I'll ask you to hold on, because the drivers can easily return your car and conveniently move on to the next thing, whilst your investment is tied up in that particular car. The fourth business on the list of businesses to avoid in 2023, 2024 is to not put your money in any form of bonds or bank investment if you care seriously about your future. If you live in Ghana or read news in Ghana this year, this shouldn't be a surprise to you. First of all, I think that's a lazy man's way of preparing for pension, and it can easily backfire, just like it has done now. I strongly believe the bank problem will only get worse. If you read the news in Ghana today, most of the banks at the end of 2022 made losses, according to Bloomberg report. Look at these pictures here. Losses of up to $1.4 billion in Ghana alone. To me, money is not meant to be stored. That's why it's made out of paper. Paper decays. To me, money is meant to be used to access material capital to provide services. If you don't mind, take a calculator. Let's do a little bit of calculation. A lot of people don't think deep into these things. Let me take you on this journey. Imagine you deposit 10,000 Ghana cedis into some form of bank investment for a yearly interest of 20%. That gives you a total of 2,000 Ghana cedis in addition to your 10,000 Ghana cedis you invested. Let's divide that 2,000 Ghana cedis by 365 days in a year. You come to 5.4 Ghana cedis per day, meaning the bank is actually paying you 5 cedis, 40 pesos on your 10,000 Ghana cedis you invested in a day. Or let's divide that figure, which is the 2,000 Ghana cedis interest, by 260 days, which is the average number of working days in a year. You get 7.7 Ghana cedis in a day, also meaning that the bank every day pays you 7 cedis and 70 pesos in a day. I mean, this is absurd in my opinion. So this is how I think in my mind. And I think I'm right in this circumstance. The first question I'll ask myself is, so isn't there any business I can invest this 10,000 Ghana cedis into today and make more than 10 Ghana cedis a day? Why would I have to put my money, 10,000 Ghana cedis, in the bank to be only given 7 cedis and 70 pesos per day? It doesn't make sense to me. When I lived in China, I started learning and understanding all these things. How Chinese people, with the little they had, always wanted to start something. But down here, it looks like people are not daring enough. People don't want to test the waters. People want to just feel comfortable and allow things to come to them. And that is why most people are not seeing the kind of development in their lives that they expect. I think it's about time we change how we see money. You don't need to put your money in the bank. Those days are far gone. The fifth and the final business you should avoid at all costs. I'll say this. Don't let it happen to you. Don't fall for it. Don't let anybody advise you into it. Don't do it. Don't put all your money into buying or building a house. Don't do it. I've said it, and I'll give you reasons why you shouldn't. I know people will be angry for what I have said, but I need you to hear me out. If all you have is the money you have, Don't invest all you have in your home yet, not into buying or building a house. If it's not for commercial purpose or not for renting, don't put all your money there. It will go and it won't return, and you'll be stuck. Take a look at these pictures. All these houses were houses that were started by people at every level. Today they are still where they are. Their monies are stuck there. Most of these people don't even have money to go about their daily lives today. The entire country of Ghana is suffering from this particular problem. When people make some bulk money at a time, they go straight into building their homes or getting a real estate home on mortgage. Well, that looks advisable on the surface, but take a look at these numbers. Remember, this is different from acquiring a piece of land, which I will always advise you to buy lands if you have the chance. But assume you make a lump sum of 50,000 Ghana cedis per Ghana standards. This is just about $4,000 today, which is easily someone else's salary in America. Starting your dream home or retirement home isn't the way to go if you have a piece of land already and you have a rented place you stay. Rather, invest that money in businesses that can give you both short-term and long-term rewards. Businesses like selling female secondhand clothing and shoes. Start a house cleaning business, food business. Start an exotic fruit business. You can always go back and start your own building project with the proceeds of your business. I learned this from Robert Kiyosaki, the Japanese American guy in the USA, and it works. I'll rephrase it this way. Do not eat your capital. Rather, eat from the proceeds of your capital. Money is hard to come by these days. So don't be in a hurry to get your money stuck. Starting a house is a good thing. You have a family. All that is nice. But if all you have is the money you hold now, my best advice to you is not to put it into something that will lock up the money, but something that will work and bring you money to do what you want to do in the future. Just think about these things. And in wrapping up, I'm happy to say that all these ideas that I share with you guys and the comments that I get from you is something that excites me a lot. And I'm happy that we are growing because we need to grow. We need to grow from where we work for money to where money will work for us at a certain point. And I hope to see you there when you are successful. Until we come your way again, God bless you, and it's bye-bye for now.